How's it going, everyone? This is Liam Catterson here, and we're going to be delving in to a non-spoiler review of Spider-Man Homecoming. So, a lot was riding onto this, considering, for those who don't know, Spider-Man is my favourite Marvel superhero, and I had a lot of expectations coming into this film because of the fact that it's finally in Marvel's hands, and I was expecting things to go right. But did they? No, it wasn't good. It was amazing. It was a really amazing Spider-Man film that I just really enjoyed so much. The story itself was pretty neatly. There was one part I would nitpick about the film, but I'll get onto that later on. But for overall, the film itself, how the story was constructed, it was really great, and all the characters were pretty amazing. The story itself had a really great bunch of like shocks in there as well, but also the fact that a lot of the action sequences was just brilliant. But also I think it was a great place in, I guess, Spidey's timeline, because he's still learning. Of course, he's still newly adapting to his powers and whatnot, and it was really good how they constructed it throughout the film. But overall, the pacing of the film was pretty enjoyable, the writing was awesome, and the humour was really neatly balanced as well. I also felt like if there were any love interactions in, like, relationship interactions between characters, for example, I'm not naming who, but if there were any interactions in terms of romance, I didn't think it was consuming compared to a lot of Spider-Man films, but everything just worked so well about this film. It was just amazing, spectacular, it was just enjoyable to watch throughout the whole 2 hours. It didn't feel like 2 hours though, and I think that's a great thing, because I was really appreciating the story, and I was just thinking how they're going to, write this without it being rushed. But yeah, it didn't really feel rushed, apart from one part, and it's I can't remember her second name, but Laura something. She does have a bit of interaction with Peter throughout the movie, and her last scene I thought was a tad rushed considering everything that happened, but I mean overall it was still enjoyable. And I have to say, Tom Holland is the favourite Spider-Man for me, and Peter Parker. The great thing about Tom is he played it so well. He played Peter so well, he played Spider-Man so well. He's just the perfect choice in my opinion, and when we first got introduced to him in Civil War, I was amazed by his, incredible performance, and I thought, when we get to see him in his own movie, I might become a major fan of him, and certainly am. But Tom slay me. No, but in all seriousness, he was just great in that movie. I just loved him so much, and the great thing is he's so young, he's going to grow, and he's going to just keep expanding his performance. Tom just proved to be an astounding choice to play Spider-Man, because he was just incredible in his performances, and he just acted so, what I expected a kid of Peter's age to act like. He did it so well, and it was just astonishing. But what about the adversary of the film, Vulture? Now, I've known about, Vulture has been a long time rumoured, enemy for Spider-Man since Spider-Man 4. I think John Malkovich was supposed to play him, of course the film that never got to see the light of day. And I've never really been a big fan of Vulture. But Vulture in Spider-Man Homecoming has to be my favourite enemy of Spider-Man on the big screen ever. I think that Michael Keaton just played him so well, and it was so terrifying. He's not one person you would like to piss off. I don't know, if, for example, you would be shitting yourself if you were, I don't know, dating a child of his and you screwed up minorly. You would be, because he was just that terrifying. He was just so sinister, and oh my god, I'm just glad that they got Michael Keaton to play Vulture, because I never thought I would say that Vulture was my favourite Spider-Man enemy on the big screen, but here we are, because Michael Keaton just played him so well, and the writing for him was just so great. You did feel sorry for him in some degree, but overall, he was just so sinister, and I just loved his performance so much. Michael Keaton being a big solid for this movie, and don't mess with Michael Keaton if he was Vulture. Definitely not. I also loved the chemistry, as you saw in the trailers. Like, Peter does have a really, established connection with this character called Ned, of course. And I wish he was still called Harry Osborn. But, no, Ned was just an incredible... Like, we saw a bit of their chemistry and how amazing it was, but we got that expanded in the film, of course, and it was just incredible to see. I really like Ned, and yeah, he was just a fantastic, I guess you could say, companion, friend, maybe, who knows. He was basically his, like, close person, wasn't he? Peter's close friend in the movie, but Ned was just an incredible asset. I think all the cast was just pretty spectacular, especially Tony Stark. Now, I know there's going to be people who are going to be a bit worried that he's going to consume the entire film, and the focus might drift away from Tom. But I think the appearance time in total of Tony Stark was just pretty amazing. I didn't really have any problems with it. It was well done. It didn't really take any emphasis from Spider-Man on his first big outing, and yeah, it was just really great seeing him. But he was still like Robert, of course. He was still an amazing contribution to the film. One thing I really loved about this film, and it's a big plus, is how I feel like these fights really were leveled in a sense, because it felt like the first, like, there was a huge, I don't know, it's like playing a video game and you have a level where it's easy and then at the end it's very hard. That's what I felt like. It was structured like that whenever, Peter was up against Vulture, and it was just really amazing to watch. Like, especially the last fight. Some of the visuals there was just so beautiful, and I think this is, the biggest, I don't know, amount of visuals I've seen in a fight. It was so catastrophic in terms of, the impact, but overall, I think a lot of the conflict scenes, I'm not just talking about the fights, but whenever, Pete was forced to sort out a situation that was troubling, a lot of the conflict scenes were just pretty well done, and I think that was one of the main pluses, apart from the acting and how great the story was written about the film, because I just really loved every bit of conflict about the movie. There was also a couple of moments in the film where you had your eyebrows raised or jaws on the floor, especially with Robert's final scene. If that is what I think it is, then yes. But no, I'm not going to reveal anything, but it was just, I think the final scene, was just like, yes. But no, there were a couple of scenes that I did not see coming at all, and it was just really fun to see. But overall, the movie was pretty good. The music as well felt really Spider-Man-like. I know some people might think, well, what does that mean? I don't know, it's something you'd expect to listen to whenever you're watching a Spider-Man product, but I think the music was well orchestrated. Overall, I really didn't have a problem with this film. I'd probably rate it 9 out of 10. Like I said, that minor inconvenience for me was probably the last scene with the character Laura played. I'm not going to reveal who she played, of course, just because I don't think it was publicly announced. I'm not sure, but it's better safe to be sorry, but she's called Laura. I can't remember her second name, but you'll figure out. She has quite a lot of interaction with Tom in the film, but yeah, that's probably my only reservation about the film. Oh, but other than that, I just loved it. It's probably my second favourite Spider-Man film out of them all, because Spider-Man 2 does have a lot, because they just flew everything out the window, but considering this is the first film for Tom, I think this was a really absolutely amazing job, because Tom was incredible in this, so was Michael Keaton. The cast entirely was just spectacular to watch, and they wrote the story as if it was well constructed, especially, like I said, the fight scenes and Peter's his life as Spider-Man. Everything was just going so well, and I just really enjoyed it. And it probably has one of the best post-credit scenes in the MCU. Stick around for that second final post-credit scene, because it was just the best. But overall, the film is worth a watch. It does justice, and I just really enjoyed that film. I'm glad that Marvel have had their hands on this movie, because it was just spectacular to watch, and I don't think they could have done it better any other way for the first outing. So whatever they have planned for the second movie, I'm so hyped, I'm so bored. I have to give my utmost respect for Marvel for doing some justice to Spider-Man, because I sat in that cinema and I was just left amazed by how great the film was, and how relieved that they have their hands on it. Not entirely, because I know Sony still has part of it, but for Marvel to utilise some imagination into the Spider-Man franchise. And like I said, Tom, best Spider-Man, and it also produced a villain that I didn't thought I'd say would be my favourite in terms of Spider-Man villains on the big screen. But 9 out of 10 film, I would say. Fantastic stuff. Just loved every second of Spider-Man Homecoming. I can't wait to see where the future goes, of course, for Tom Holland, because of course he's going to be in Infinity War as well as number 2 and 3. So it's not spoilers that he doesn't die. But no, it's just a fantastic job by Tom, and I just really loved his character, as it definitely expanded from how impressed I was from Civil War, and great job. And that's all I really have to say about this. I'm trying to make this, non-spoilers possible, but leave us your thoughts in the comments. Please remember, don't spoil it, because I know there might be some people who might not have watched the movie and might proceed to the comments and then they see spoilers aplenty and whatnot. But yes, it was a fantastic film, just enjoyed it, and yeah, leave us your thoughts about Spider-Man Homecoming in the cleanest way possible, because that movie blew my mind, and it was better than I expected. I expected it to be good, considering Marvel had their hands on it, but it was better than anticipated, so there we go. It was just amazing, and yeah, like I said, best Spider-Man, best villain. What more can you ask for? Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is tomorrow, of course. Don't get me started about that episode at all. And yeah, you can check my videos on the right if you want to check out more of my content. You can also subscribe to the media feeds and channel if you want to. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Remember to leave us your thoughts if you want to. And I will see you guys next time. Toodles!